Okay, you should be hearing both the game audio and my mic now. Welcome back to Falcom RTA second chapter. My name is Schtolteheim, and I've got a very special guest with me, if you would introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Sly Gamer. I am an editor for the Ys vs. Trails in the Sky fan translation project, and I'm really glad to be here today.
And this, as he so eloquently described, is Ys vs. Trails, Alternative Saga, the game that I tried to be a hipster with by playing it before it was cool. This is a fighting game slash Ys 7-esque spin-off featuring Ys 7 locales, Ys 7 characters, Ys 7 Ys 7, it's Ys 7, and I'm going to be...
Just Ys 7.
It really is just Ys 7. And you might recall from the keen memories among you that I had to play this game as an emergency backup for Relay no Kiseki, and I failed miserably because I hadn't played it in half a year. I'm hoping to avoid that this time. My estimate is 11 minutes faster than it was previously, and my PB is 20 minutes faster than what that atrocious 1:16 travesty was supposed to be. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do a poll this time because preparing for potentially 5 separate runs is simply too difficult a task for a pea brain such as myself, so I'm going to be playing as Adol.
That's
Yep. And without further ado, I will get things going in 3, 2, 1. My revenge arc begins now.
Sounds good.
So, you're probably more familiar with this story than I am, so if you'd be willing to take the chat through it, considering you've been nose deep in spreadsheets for a few months, probably.
Yes. So, essentially, the plot of Ys vs. Trails in the Sky is all of these characters have Kazeki and these characters. They've essentially been plopped into Xanadu. Basically, the explanation is that, they were all just whisked away into Xanadu because the laws of Xanadu wills it, and the Great Dragon King is causing a bunch of problems, and everybody, they explain it away that everyone's laws have been altered, which essentially just means that they're allied with the Dragon King, and you have to be able to defeat them so that they can go back to your side. A typical fighting game story plot setup. So, I mean, this game is essentially like, Persona 4 Arena did come after this, but it's similar to that in how that game did its, setup. So, it is absolutely not canon. No. This game is super not canon. A bunch of people joke about how it's like, where the heck does this game take place? And technically, it's like according to like bios and stuff, we figured out that it takes place after the third, but we had to do a lot of debate about that because the game isn't very clear. But no, it's not canon. It's just a crossover fighter that Falcom decided to release in the lead up to Zero.
Well, that's probably a more eloquent explanation than I could have put, and I just pressed my split button.
Oh, whoops!
You know, I probably shouldn't do that.
Probably not.
Let me see here.
Jam guidance for canon in this. Yes, I agree.
Okay, never mind. That didn't happen. I am still as much of a bumbling imbecile as I was a year ago. So yeah, what you just saw is a very, very rough plan for how the gameplay is supposed to play itself out. Chloe is a rather inconsistent fight because she can freeze you, as she did with me. And
nice.
Unfortunately, she's followed by an even worse girl.
Oof. Which one's that? Oh no! Ice is great though!
I beg to differ, my good sir. Aisha cements her status as the worst girl of Ys 7 by being an incredibly aggravating fight. You see, Aisha is a ranged fighter, and ranged AI sucks in this game because all they do is run away from you.
That is true. I have played a little bit of this game. I actually started out as just testing the game before I was an editor, so I played a little bit of the game.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to trap Aisha in this fountain so that she'll have nowhere to jump out of because there's a lip on the platform. That doesn't always work. Fortunately, this fight is going really well until it suddenly stopped going well. Can you stop running away from me? Stop. This is why I don't like Aisha.
I can see where the bias comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. She is probably my favorite character in E7, and she's actually really fun to write. So I quite like her character.
I mean, don't they spend like a solid minute and a half getting her to say thank you?
A little bit.
Oh god, no, this is not going to world record. I'm playing with a slight audio delay on my headphones, so that kind of screws up my gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, I should probably talk about the gameplay now. So if you've played any of the Ys games, particularly Ys 7, this game plays very similarly to those, featuring a cast of Ys and Kiseki characters. You have your basic, in Adol's case, 5-hit combo, which I'm going to exploit heavily over the course of this run because it is incredibly powerful and spammable.
Someone said, oh, look, it's Matt Mercer. It's also, it was actually Troy Baker in Trails in the Sky that recast.
Yeah, Troy Baker's great.
And then in this game, well, his Japanese voice actor is Dio.
Yes, Takehito Koyasu is a god among men.
Yes, and Ys versus Trails in the Sky does have voice acting that's just all in the game, so, you know, unlike the other games, you don't have to worry about installing a voice mod, so you could just hear Dio right from the get-go.
Yeah.
So Dio!
So one of the most important mechanics I have at my disposal is guarding, particularly flash guarding. If you start a guard within a few frames of an enemy attack landing, not only do you parry it, which doesn't deplete any stamina from your guard meter, it also gives you guaranteed crits for a couple seconds, which is excellent. And I'm going to attempt to exploit it here with this fight. Just gonna buy these. Pick Chloe as my partner because Olivier does not do anything worth mention if you take him into this fight. The ranged AI just does not work as your ally.
Sure.
So we've got Dogi here, and he's accompanied by... What is this? What did you translate this as? A straighter?
I can't remember. I mean, I could pull up the spreadsheets real quick if I wanted to.
Oh.
I have them right here. I've been pretty much editing it for the last 2 days.
So the very nice thing about this straighter that I'm fighting is that all of its attacks are incredibly telegraphed, unlike the player character / enemies that you fight later. So this teaches you all about flash guards, and in an attempt to teach you about the extra gauge, which is what you use to fire your big limit break JRPG anime attack, it gives you a full gauge to start the fight as part of a tutorial. So I managed to get a flash guard immediately upon starting the fight, and that allows me to just crit the ever-loving daylights out of both Dogi and the straighter if I pull it off.
Flash guard is really useful.
Flash guard is incredibly useful.
Once I learned that it actually exists in E7, I started using it quite a good bit, but, you know, okay. I had to have a friend tell me because the game doesn't have a tutorial for it.
Good lord. That very well could have killed me, but I used a not very well-known mechanic of this game that I like to call the Get Off Me button. If you hit all 4 of the face buttons at the same time, that's circle, triangle, square, and cross, then you do a sort of fighting game style X-Factor attack that costs 20% of your HP, but in exchange, it knocks all enemies back, and it gets you out of most hit stuns.
Huh.
So I can I can use it to escape Dogi's S-Craft, which probably would have killed me. And now I have another charge, so I can bot this guy to death.
I am really impressed that you're able to go in and do this at low levels, because I remember when I was first testing the game, because I didn't. Eventually, I did switch to a level 99 profile just so that I could quickly go through.
Yeah.
Text. But when I was first trying the game, it was just like, oh my goodness, these characters are just really hard.
Yeah, that's the big problem. The scaling is brutal, much like East games. That's why I run Adol here. Because aside from Adol, Geis, and maybe Chloe, some fights are just stupidly difficult in story mode if you go in at level 1.
Right.
Like a particular brown-haired pretty boy protagonist who debuted in this game instead of the game he was supposed to debut in. I'm not throwing shade at all. What are you talking about? Anyway, I need to remember what to buy here. Yes, sword.
We will certainly see them later, and that was interesting to write, because in this game, he's that certain brown-haired protagonist is written a little differently. You could definitely tell that, because this game was not written by a lot of Falcom's main scenario writers. This game was being developed concurrently with Zero, and so a lot of Falcom's, I think their best writers, they were on Zero at the time.
So this was sort of a B-team sort of effort?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that was a relatively slow fight, but I'm happy to have survived it, because that is quite difficult to pull off correctly.
Yeah.
I have this support ability. You're seeing this big hunk of meat appear on the screen. His name is Mustafa, and he's my support ability. He gives me an attack boost whenever I call upon him, which is nice. This is Elk. He's decidedly less nice. I don't like him. He just flashguarded me. AI aren't supposed to do that. He just flashguarded me twice. He just flashguarded me 3 times. AI are not supposed to do that.
Yeah, they're just not liking you this run.
I mean, this is going about how the fight with Elk usually goes. What I really want to do is I want to kill him before he fires off his... Well, I spoke too soon. His extra, because it makes him invulnerable for a solid 10 seconds, and all I can do is just sit here and get comboed.
I remember this happening to me when I was fighting him. I was like, this is not going well.
Yeah, no. Elk is a very inconsistent fight in terms of speed.
Right.
Fun fact, he and Adol share the same voice actor in English.
Really?
Yeah. Granted, it's in different games, because in E7, Adol is voiced by Grant George, and Elk by Bryce Papenbrook, but then... Adol was recast to Bryce Papenbrook.
Do we know why he was recast?
I don't know. It might have had something to do with unions.
Might have.
Because, 2013-14 was around the time non-union productions started being boycotted.
Makes sense, yeah.
Anyway, this is Cruci, and her fight is very, very silly, because there's lava surrounding the battlefield. All I have to do is knock her into it, and it will do most of the damage for me.
This is one of the more jank arenas, but, pretty helpful for one of these runs. Oh no, jumped out!
Yeah, she has a mind of her own sometimes, which is a bit annoying, because I want my AI to be stupid and benign.
Well, that's how you do it fast. I have not heard the Ys 8 first up. I've been playing through Ys 8 for the first time recently, and it's been really interesting to go in and experience that game, and go in and look at some of the translation stuff, having people compare it with the original. It's like, oh, okay. It's certainly interesting to see all the changes.
Okay, I've got 1,000 Mona points now, which is basically your currency, and that will allow me to get a very nice ability very early on. As opposed to learning skills through levels, you buy basically everything you need with money. So I'm going to buy Adol's best normal skill. And then I'm going to quickly equip it to me, along with any other stuff that I might have equipped along the way.
It's a lot better, but there's errors. Yes, I agree. I've been going through it, I played I've been marathoning all of the Ys games, and it was interesting to go in and play all those games and edit this and be very familiar with the style guide that's used in the Xseed scripts, you can definitely tell if you are paying attention to the style guide stuff that E8 is very inconsistent with it. They do not pay attention to things like, just how laps are done. I believe some of the stutters are a bit different, but the end punctuation tends to work quite a good bit differently. It's very annoying as someone, for me, who has gotten very intimate with it, because I have to. And just to go and see, it's like, oh no, that's not right there.
Yeah,
but,
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of those errors does just come from the fact that E8 was translated. I think the retranslation took place over 4 months or so. So I imagine that might have had something to do with it. I'm sure if they, planned it from the start and didn't have a lot of the management issues that they had at the start, maybe they could have been able to fix that. And Cold Steel 3 is much more accurate with regards to the trail style guide. So
yeah,
that's good. It's not perfect, but it's you could definitely tell Nissa paid a lot more attention to that, or at least the editors that they have were very careful with that.
Yeah. So we just bullied Ren.
Yes.
which is lovely. Usually she'll fire her S-Craft on me, which sucks, but there's not much I can do about it. This is a something. I have no idea what the katakana for it is supposed to be, so I'm just gonna call it a something.
Ah.
And flash guarding becomes very important here as well, because it's difficult to do this fight quickly. A lot of this boss's attacks have a lot of telegraphing, but also some very awkward hitboxes. So sometimes I'll be standing right in front of the guy, he'll attack me without me even moving, and he'll just flat out miss, because he cannot aim to save his life. One other thing you'll also see me doing is sometimes you'll just see me guard out of nowhere, and that's because I'm resetting my combo count. Like a fighting game, this game has combo scaling, so the longer your combo, the less damage your hits do individually.
Gotcha, yeah.
So generally, once I get to around 20 or so, I try to fish for flash guards and charge attacks to get some SP.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this game, I remember, I think, originally when I was first playing it, it's just not understanding the tech at all. It's just like, oh man, I just don't get this game one bit. And then I kind of thought that was like, I'm not sure if the gameplay is really for me. But then I think Chuji showed me, it's like, oh, the game actually does have quite a lot of combo potential. He showed me a video of like some of the stuff that some like combo stuff he was doing with Joshua, and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't think that you could do all this stuff in this game. It's so cool.
Yeah, this game is incredibly deep when you bother to look beyond the surface. So this is the actual non-canonical debut of Lloyd Bannings from Trails from Zero, which isn't out yet.
Yes.
And
this is the first appearance of Lloyd in canon. It's so weird. Well, not canon, but just the first time he's appeared in a Falcom title.
Yeah. And Lloyd is disgustingly powerful. He's one of the best characters in the game because his standard attack is like 10 hits. They knew what they were doing in advertising him as one of the best characters in the game. So my strategy for this fight is I want to just bully him. I want to try to bully him as much as possible, so hard that Trails from Zero doesn't happen.
Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it was certainly interesting to go in and learn. It's like, oh, he debuted here? What? It's so weird. But yeah, they actually do have that. They have an Ellie support. They also have bios for the two characters.
Yep.
And it's interesting that they actually include a very minor, but still a spoiler in the description for Ellie. It's not really that big of a deal, but it was just really funny to me because it's like, Zero isn't out, Falcom. But yeah, I mean, I was very confused about that when I was going through and editing the BIOS.
Yeah, I can imagine. And go figure, Ellie's support is also one of the best supports in the game.
Oh, figures.
Okay, so that's the straighter down, which is a problem because that means I don't get any free flash guards anymore.
Joe Wolf, yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
So I need to be very careful with how I go about this.
Like I said, it's very minor, but it was just funny to me when I was going through that. But yes, technically this is the first time you see Crossbell as well.
Okay, Lloyd is down. That's one of the toughest fights in the game. If Lloyd gets his S-Craft off on me and I can't get off me button away, then I'm dead from like 500 to 600 health. Which is just below half. Tiger Charge is stupid. It also homes. Tiger Charge homes. I want to establish how ridiculous that is. I don't like it.
Lloyd is so powerful. He also can do the what's the move called? The one where he goes in and gets the major attack buff, and it's just like
oh yeah, he can do I think it's Burning Heart.
Yeah. It's so cool that they actually put that in, and yeah, he'll be if you don't finish the fight before it, then yeah, he'll be down for like 10 seconds.
Well, here's the thing, you can just cast it again, like you can in Zero.
Oh yeah, true. So, pretty broken, but yeah, it makes sense. Anyone had to be broken, it had to be the new boy.
Yeah. So I'm going to real quick pick up a golden crown and equip it for this next fight with Tita. And the golden crown gives me 25% extra gauge charge right off the bat. It doesn't sound all that good in speed context at first glance, because normally extra skills are very slow, so I wouldn't want to use them, but it lets me kill confirm more quickly and prevent enemies from using their S-Crafts, which in turn are also very lengthy and boring. So I mainly have it as a way to set up confirms more easily.
Yeah. Oh look, it's Tita.
Yes, and unfortunately she also gets bullied. Because she is a ranged character.
Oh.
She just flashcarded. Neat little thing about these tunnels here, they actually function as teleports. I just inadvertently pushed Tita into one, and now we're in a completely different section of the stage.
I did not know this existed! Oh, that's so cool!
Yeah.
I like it! But yeah, I definitely have grown a lot. Like, I've really started growing attached to Tita's character, because Tita's story is the one that I edited by myself. Because Livy, she is the lead editor for Ys vs. Trails, and she is the editor for Adol, Estelle, and Chloe, and we split dice between the two of us. And, we've been going over each other's stuff in the second pass as well, which we're still doing, but, yeah, I quite like Tita's character. I did quite a lot of research for her. Yeah.
Tita, unfortunately, is the most cumbersome to play as in story mode.
I know.
It sucks. It really sucks.
It does. I did enjoy writing and doing stuff for that story, and still going in and writing it, because sometimes you go through that line and you're just like, I could probably reword that, or, oh, wow, that had a really bad typo, and then, you just go in and do that.
Yeah. Kosu asks if we did the fan translation. Well, you did, Sly.
Yes, I am one of the Geofront editors, pretty much one of the new boys.
Yeah, I'm just a scrub.
Part of the Geofront V sector, which we go over. I think we wrote an article about that on the Geofront website, which explained how the V sector formed. But yeah, I kind of stumbled my way into the Geofront, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh god, you think you stumbled your way? All I did to get in the Geofront was make funny noises into a microphone. That's how I got recruited as a tester.
Oh man.
Like, I contribute nothing to the Geofront otherwise.
Hey, you'll once the testing begins, then you will. That'll be fun. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's an excuse to play this game some more and not sound like a pretentious hippie.
Sure.
Come here. Maishura is another very inconsistent fight because she is yet another ranged character. Fortunately, though, with her having gone down, that's the last of the ranged characters we have to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
There are only 4 of them in the game. From here on out, it is almost entirely melee. Can I buy a thing?
There will not be any B puns in Ys versus Trails in the Sky. Alternative Saga. I'm sorry, Mr. KRPG.
Oh, come on! Also, I just bought armor instead of a sword. That's not what I was supposed to do, but it's fine. Having extra armor for the boss of this area isn't a bad thing at all.
It certainly does help to go in and update the armor. I remember when I was just started out as testing, like, way early on, I was having to constantly upgrade and grind to get armor pieces because, oh man, this game's hard.
Yeah, so Joshua is very fast. He's also very aggressive, and that lets me get a whole lot of flash guards if I can predict my mind games correctly.
It certainly helps for him to be aggressive rather than, you know, what you were doing with Tita and Aisha.
God, is it ever? I'm about to take a sword to the face.
I also haven't played on this stage before. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, this stage is neat. I think they just directly lifted it from FC's files.
I would not be surprised.
As they also did with Ravenu Village.
Huh?
Ooh, that's his S-Craft.
Uh-oh, careful. Oh no! Phantom Raid! Oh, you got out of it! Nice!
Guard OP, please nerf. But yeah, usually I'm fine against an S-Craft / extra skill if I have more than half health. Unless it's Lova. If it's Lova, I'm just dead either way. Because Lova is Lova.
Right.
Like, Lova is the single reason why running Chloe is not a breeze. She handles every other fight well, even including Lloyd. It's just Lova that she cannot deal with for the life of her. And then Estelle and Tita both get walled hard by him anyway.
Yeah. SC is probably my second favorite game. I don't know. I go back between it and Owl quite a lot.
Yeah. I've only played FC through 0, admittedly.
Yeah.
Look at me being a paragon of the Trails speedrun community. I haven't even played half the series. Also, why did I call myself a paragon? That's pretentious as hell.
That's all good. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much like all the games. I really did enjoy Cold Steel 3 quite a lot, and still looking forward to Cold Steel 4. Some friends have told me some, interesting things about that game, and so I'm just like, okay, I'll be going to see how it all plays out. But yeah, I mean, I like both Ys and Trails quite a lot. I don't think I would be editing for it if I wasn't.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about fan translations. They are by fans.
Sure.
Because official localizations obviously have official funding. They have professional quality and pedigree, but there's just something about fan translations that stems from a sheer passion for the game, and that's something that is really difficult to replicate in a commercialized capitalist industry. Yeah.
And I was speaking about this with, I think, Ribos the other day, but it's... Going in and working on fan translations is probably one of, is a really good way to go in and positively contribute to a fan base, or to a fandom, I think. But, yeah, I mean, I always wanted to go in and try doing it. It's just, before this point, I didn't feel like I was qualified, but, I got the opportunity, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, more power to you.
It's been quite fun.
So, Fake At-All and Fake Wall Crusher are out of the way. I completely glossed over that fight. This
is basically the Persona 4 fight, where you fight your own shadow.
You're not me! You're not anything like me! Sounds like someone just ordered a stupid-looking boss!
Faker. I wish I could put in SA2 memes, but no, I wouldn't.
I think you're the fake adventurer around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my. I'll make you eat those words!
Oh. Every time I was editing these, I couldn't stop thinking of that conversation.
I'm having an irrational amount of fun with this, and I think it's gonna get me banned.
Don't worry, there aren't any SA2 memes.
I'm kind of disappointed now.
Oh.
So now we got best boy versus best girl. Main character versus main character. Estelle, unfortunately, does not improve from her status of being completely mediocre in Trails by being completely mediocre in this game as well.
Dang.
She's supposed to be a jack of all stats, from what I understand, but that just really prevents her from excelling in any one area.
Yeah, that's how she's like in the other games.
Yeah, because in fighting games especially, generally characters will have one strong area and one very weak area. Like, you'll have a huge character like Dogi who's really powerful and has a lot of kill options, but he's incredibly slow and easy to combo in exchange. If you have a character who's just there, then I just feel like it's more difficult to get used to them.
Yeah. Someone said jack of all stats is not what you want in Trails. Yep, completely
Yeah,
agree.
especially when you have guys like Richard and Ren.
Yeah. I mean, overall, like I said, Estelle is my favorite protagonist. I just wish she was a little bit more effective in terms of just fighting.
Yeah, Zane brings up a good point about her S-Craft. The problem is that it's not even all that useful, because
Single target.
you know the bonus you get from a flash guard, that crit you get?
Yeah.
Estelle's S-Craft takes so long between the second and third hits that the flash guard bonus wears off.
Yeah.
So she just can't use it.
Yeah. And yeah, someone brought up Estelle's writing is amazing. Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of lines, a lot of my favorite lines I actually did learn were Exceed originals, because
Yeah.
in the Japanese version, Estelle has a catchphrase that she uses over and over and over.
Yeah, it's on this there, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one, and she also uses that a lot in East Versus. And yes, they always try to come up, at least in the Exceed ones, they always come up with different variations whenever she goes in and says that line. And so we do the same thing naturally in East Versus Trails. Because
yeah, I really like that change Exceed made to Estelle's character. This is why localization is important, folks.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason why I really like Estelle, or at least the writing for her, was because of the work of Exceed. That's ultimately the goal with this project, is to try to be able to keep it East versus Trails consistent with how the other games have done their localization. So
yeah, that's a very respectable goal, and with how well you guys did Zero, I am confident that this project will turn out similarly well.
Oh, thank you very much. We'll certainly try.
Now, with that said, I do have one very, very important to ask you as a member of the V sector.
V sector, yes.
When's Gagarv?
Maybe someday. I don't know.
Okay, so, Geis. It's a shame I have to fight him because he's my favorite character in this game. He's incredibly good at applying pressure, and that makes him really fun to play around with. Unfortunately, it doesn't make him very good to fight. Got a flash guard, but I had no SP. And now he's gonna wreck me.
Nice. Huh, so his special attack looks quite different from how it was.
His extra skill is busted because it has the biggest hitbox in the history of the universe. And he can still move while he's doing it, unlike many other characters with their extras. So he can freely chase you down, even if he misses.
Yes. Oh, and what Hito said in response to the question of what is the literal translation, it's like, what did you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the game
Dole-
does
yeah.
have...
Yeah, Dole, that's how we do it. We've done that before. Excuse me.
Yeah, the game does have multiplayer, but unfortunately it's local only. Shanji and I, just out of blatant curiosity, did a test with this game on Ad Hoc Party, a PS3 exclusive LAN-to-WAN system.
Right.
It didn't work.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
didn't
I
work.
heard about that. Yeah, and so ultimately, the issue with the online multiplayer, I mean, a lot of that is going to be up to whether TP, SSPP, the people they can be able to make a breakthrough.
Yeah, that's really the only thing we can hope for in that regard. It sucks
Yeah.
because completely local multiplayer works perfectly fine at full speed. I tested it with a PSP and a PSTV. So
Sure.
the netcode for its intended purpose is solid.
Yeah,
It just wasn't meant to be used with Ad Hoc Party.
Yeah, Falcom's netcode is also a little bit jank. It was the same way with the Vantage Master Portable. It's not the best, which that does not surprise me. But
yeah, that would make sense.
yeah, hopefully one day in the future that can happen. But until then, we're just getting this all localized so that people can play around with the script and just the main story and play around with multiplayer. So just kind of see. Okay, this is what this game's about.
Oh dear.
Because I know at least, before I was working on this, I always wanted to at least try the game out. So hopefully, if y'all want to, you can be able to try this one out once we finish. And hey, maybe you'll get something out of it. I certainly did.
So that was a decent fight against Lova. He fired off his S-Craft, which I would argue is the best S-Craft in the game, possibly even better than Geiss's, because it's one of the only ones that the Get Off Me button doesn't work on.
Yeah, yeah.
The only way you're getting out of it is with a flash guard.
Yes, yes.
And even then, you have to flash guard it twice, I think.
Yeah, that fight is really tough.
It's stupid tough.
Which makes sense. It's Louvre, so...
Yeah, it's Lova. Also, super arranged Silver Will. Yes!
Yes! I'm so glad that song is in the game.
As am I.
Once I was testing around with the victory quotes, I made sure to go to that stage and play that song every time. I love that piece.
Yeah, that's the one thing that made my run from last year bearable. I died to Lova like 3 or 4 times, but it played super arranged Silver Will for all 4 of them. So hey, double-edged Kernvitter.
Yeah, sure.
So this is Degaton and Degaton's brother. They are a much easier fight than Lova.
Yes,
because like all of the mini-bosses, they are very telegraphed.
Absolutely.
And also, Geiss is a very solid party member to have at this point.
It certainly does help. Also, I'm still having to get used to the fact that apparently, Geiss is not the correct pronunciation. We just figured out that it's apparently supposed to be pronounced as Gash. And that has me up. Because I've been calling him Geiss this whole time. Because that's what it looks like. But apparently it's Gash. And I'm like, no, that's not what it looks like.
Yeah, because in JP, it's Gush in Kana. And I'm told that in English, that can be a slur for a certain body part. So Konami decided to change it to Geiss, or Falcom did, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm still gonna call him Geiss because I think that sounds cooler. I don't know.
Yeah, Geiss is also the pronunciation they use in the PS2 version of the Piston.
Okay. Well, until another game tells me otherwise, I'm gonna continue calling it Geiss.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it Geiss as well. And he is putting in work right now.
Yeah, bless Geiss. I love this character. I'm actually really glad that Geiss got a story. One
Same.
thing, probably the one thing, if I was, if I was on the Falcom team at the time, which obviously I'm not, but the one thing I would have changed, I would have given Kevin a story, because Kevin is not playable.
Yeah, they robbed Kevin.
I'm really upset about that, because Kevin only gets an assist, and I'm like, what? He's the protagonist, bruh. Come on.
God, they did my priest man dirty.
They did him dirty. Oh, I'm so upset.
But anyway, having beaten the Super Degaton brothers, we make our way into Castle Strange Rock. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is Xanadu next.
Yes. Also, they have a lot of music that was pulled from Xanadu next.
Yeah, all of the overworld themes for story mode were pulled from Xanadu next.
Kevin being robbed. Name a better duo. Nice. I played a little bit of Xanadu next because there's terminology from Xanadu next. So
yeah, because all the bosses, I believe, are also from Xanadu next.
Yes. So, and one big element, and I forgot to mention this, but one big element of the plot, of what this game has of a plot, is that they are all looking for a sword called the Dragon Slayer, because there is no other way to go in and defeat the Dragon King Galsus. And so, so that's pretty much what the story pretty much comes about, is just all the characters going in and beating up the characters until they go back to normal so they can join the party, and then also looking for the Dragon Slayer and the Great Sorcerer, who is the person who was able to defeat the Dragon King. So that's pretty much, most of the plot for this. A lot of it is just, okay, we just need an excuse to put people in fighting situations, and we also have a few fun little exchanges so that people can be seeing all the Sky and East characters again for one more game. And that's the primary appeal of it, and I think it works. I have fun with this game.
So Agate is a very inconsistent fight because he has his Wild Rage ability from Sky, which sacrifices some of his HP in exchange for giving him extra gauge. And I want him to do that as much as possible because that lowers his HP, and I don't really care about getting hit by his S-Craft anyway.
Yes. Also, Lily May Rose, yes, they have... It's essentially a giant crossover. The only thing is the playable characters are just from Ease and Trails, but yes, they have references, bios, and stuff from Brandish and Zwei as well, and a few other Falcom stuff, like really minor stuff. But yes, it has a lot of Gargarf as well.
Yeah, a lot of Gargarf. But man, they skimped out on Dinosaur Resurrection, and that makes me angry.
Sad.
Like, come on, man. It's Dinosaur Resurrection for the PC-88, I think.
Yes. And my boy Chester. I'm so glad they got Chester in this game.
Yeah, Chester's cool.
Yeah. And it's funny because they also have, like, Elena, art, her having a sword and, the same outfit. And I'm like, man, I wish she was playable.
God, yeah.
Also, Chester is absolutely one of my favorite characters to write.
Yeah. Kondo, East versus Senwen. Wait, no, East versus Trails in general, too.
Chester, I like writing for him. Ren, a lot. Agate is probably the one that I like writing the most. And
yeah, I'd imagine. Because they probably give him a ton of crap in Tita's story.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This game has 5 different story modes. You can play as Adol. You can play as all the different characters in multiplayer, but for single player, there is a story for Adol, Estelle, Tita, Chloe, and Geist.
Yep.
But what they do is, for Adol's story, you also have, like, Dogi, who is talking and has a ton of lines. And in Estelle's story, Joshua has a ton of lines. And for Tita, Agate has a ton of lines. Chloe, it's Olivier. And for Geist, it's Aisha. So they pretty much have, like, a main character and, like, another character. It's not, like, official thing. It's just, okay, this character comes in and they take up a lot of the lines.
Yeah, the character you fight as the first boss becomes your companion character.
Oh my goodness.
Chop is present in this game, but for whatever reason, Chester and Agate both have custom themes composed specifically for this game. I believe Chester's is Descendant of Genos, and Agate's is... The A in Agate is for, all caps, Akagi!
Writing for Olivier is tough, but it's really fun.
Oh my god, would it?
You get to be very creative with it. But
I imagine it would be tough.
Yes. He is certainly a fun character to write.
Because he's just a walking parody.
He's great. So yes, Chloe, in Chloe's story, Olivier has a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of people are saying like Ys versus Tokyo Xanadu versus Trails. I'm still waiting for an Ys versus Sen no Kizeki or something like that. I'd like a sequel, just so you can play it on another system.
if it would make Falcom remember that there were other characters besides Reed.
Yes, please. Wait, is this a different Joshua?
I forgot to mention, some characters run away from you as opposed to joining your side. Joshua is one of them.
Forgot that happens in this story.
Yeah, it happens in every character's story, and then you have a 1-on-3, which I believe is the next fight. You've got usually either Joshua, Adol, or Estelle, and then no matter who you play as, Ren, Chester, and Lova will always refuse to join the party.
Right. You win. You can see it's been a while since I edited Adol stuff.
Oh, dude, no problem, man. You're good, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of 1v3, this is the fight I need my armor for.
But yes, this game also has a lot of like art, just a lot of art from the other games that they just put in, in between fights. A lot of the time it just appears for a second, so it's just like a...
The game has a very nice collection menu where you can view all of that stuff. It's got music tracks, it's got artwork, it's got a whole bunch of neat stuff. It even has themes for your PSP that you can install on the home menu.
We did, and we did edit the graphics for those as well. So,
wow.
They go in and have like Ys versus Sora no Kizeki in the original, and we changed them so that they have the localized terms. We are making sure that we localize everything.
That is attention to detail, man.
Yeah, and there's also trailers for other games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's a trailer for Vantage Master Portable, which that game never got a localization. So
don't tell me that's why you're named the V Sector.
Might want to check that out. No, we are called the V Sector because Ys is first.
I know.
Okay. But yes. You might want to go in and check out that Vantage Master Portable trailer when the game's up. Because it's not that wasn't localized before at this point.
Okay, so this 1v3 is very hectic, and there is actually a remote chance I could die here if Lova S-crafts me the wrong way.
Also, in every single story, they have this fight where Luwei, Ren, and Chester all gang up on you, and yes, you have to go in and beat them. So,
yeah. Fortunately, there is a hidden handicap in your favor.
Yes, but yeah.
Yes,
in every story this happens, including Tita. So yes, Tita is apparently capable of beating Ren, Luwei, and Chester all ganging up on her.
Yes. On the honor of the Russell family. Okay, I need to make especially sure Chester does not S-craft me. There he goes. Now it's just a one-on-one with Lova.
We joke about this fight in the B sector a lot because it's so not. Tina could not beat these guys.
It's so horrendously not canon. Like, I could see Adol. I could maybe see Geis. I couldn't see anybody else.
Not even Estelle.
Yeah, no, Estelle would get destroyed.
I mean, I think, the implication is that in later games, she gets a lot more experience, but that just doesn't show up in terms of gameplay.
She does, of course.
Cassius absolutely could, I believe.
Cassius definitely.
Cassius, yes.
Like, Phoenix Wave, done. Goodbye. But yeah, also that fight is amazing because it has the JDK band range of Overdosing Heavenly Bliss.
It's very nice.
Like, this game has 2 versions of Overdosing Heavenly Bliss. One version was made specifically for this game, I believe. So we're almost done.
Yep,
Sorry, you were saying?
we have one more fight. It's just interesting because every time Lappy uses that spell, they just have like so many ellipses on screen. I forgot that was in the Japanese script.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't bother using the old menu only translation.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. But no, that would have showed up regardless because that was in the Japanese script.
See, Hito knows what's up.
Yep. And it'll only be 3 dots in East versus Trails.
Nice. Okay, so this is Michelle Laphaven. He's stupid. Like, he got himself turned into a Pickard.
And a palm if you're playing in a Trail story.
Yeah, I just nearly walked into a meme there. I'm going to forget that I said that. So yeah, he goes on this mantra about... Is he the magician that the legend talks about? I don't know.
He is the great sorcerer, yes.
Alright, yeah, wonderful. Because, like, he does something like that in Gagarv, too.
Yes. Steel Maiden certainly could. I believe that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely Steel Maiden. Like, no questions asked. On to the final battle. And we get a brilliant theme from Xanadu next here.
Time for the fight with Dragon King Galsus.
Probably the most baffling musical decision in this game is that Galsus, the main antagonist from Xanadu Next and that game's final boss, does not get Xanadu Next's final boss theme, which is a banger, as his battle track in this game. Instead, it's the final boss theme from Legend of Heroes 4. And Legend of Heroes 4's main antagonist, Octum, has, like, no presence in this game.
Yeah.
Not even Gweld has any presence.
Oh no, the Dragon Slayer is destroyed!
Oh no. If only we had the power of friendship.
If only we had the power of hope.
But what's this? Okay, so
Chad Fanning's coming to the rescue.
okay, so funny thing about this fight, I got a 50.06 during my D-Rust, but I wasn't recording it, so my actual PB and the actual world record is a 52.45. I have a serious chance of beating it.
Nice. But Lloyd comes in and says, the Dragon Slayer was hope all along.
Let's do this. Okay, Galsus. He has 3 hitboxes. I want to try to wail on his feet first.
Good luck, my dude.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Rhythm.
Dragon Slayer was hope? Yes, that's all it ever was. Always has been.
Always has been. Please tell me Chuji made a meme of that.
I'm sure he did. Always has been.
Alright, I have full SP, let's go.
The word hope is said a lot in that one scenario. We joke about it being basically the Danganronpa part of the game. Nessa added it and feel right at home. Well, not anymore. Rip. Do Danganronpa anymore. That dialogue choice bud did give us a lot of trouble.
Okay, this could potentially be a problem. Because only his head remains, and I have no good way of hitting it. So I might choke this. Especially if he does the one attack I can't damage him during.
You're still gonna be ahead though, so it's all good.
Okay, he did it 3 times in a row. I'm inclined to think that he knows.
Oh no!
No, we good. 52.42. World record by 3 seconds.
Nice. Good stuff, man.
You win!
And that is East vs. Trails Alternative Saga's story mode.
For Adol's story, there's still 4 more stories, but we won't do them. Not
Yeah, no, you're not making me do Tita. Also, shout out to the voice actor here.
Yes, absolutely. Good acting.
Indeed. Rest in peace to his throat. So we're a fair bit ahead of schedule. I'm going to let the ending play out with all of its voice acted glory, and then I'm going to get set up for the next run, which conveniently is the Geofront's fan translation of The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero.
Heck yeah.
So, that is my revenge arc completed.
Good stuff, man.
I did not completely blow up the computer this time.
Yep, did it. Oh yes, it was definitely because of me. I'm just sitting here talking about East versus.
Oh, dude, no, I really appreciate having you guys and having the chat here.
Oh, no problem. I had fun.
So, any closing words you want to say?
Please look forward to East vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga. We are still in the midst of the second editing pass. Livia and I are quite perfectionists, but, you know, work's going along steadily, so we hope you guys, if you guys are interested, we hope you guys will be able to play our fan patch. I've worked pretty hard on it. I'm I mean, I'm just enjoying doing the work. We will update you guys on Twitter when we are done with that. I'm sure Livy and LT are 2 project co-leads. They will update you on Twitter. You can be able to find them at just at LT. I think it's ELTEH or
2 H's.
2 H's. Okay. And then Anonymous Axitol is the handle for Livy. I also will tweet stuff. But yeah, we're looking forward to being able to get that all done and out into your guys' hand.
Yeah. All I want to say for my closing words is that Adol just talked. This is the worst game ever made.
Yeah, Adol has voice lines in this game.
Adol has voice lines, and he's voiced by Kai Kisuke.
It's nice.
So, thank you very much for having us. Please look forward to Trails from Zero and East vs. Trails Alternative Saga. Sly and I will sign off and get ready for the next run.
All right, see y'all.
向こうにはそんな伝説が残ってるのか。へへへ、ワクワクしてきやがった。楽しい冒険になりそうだぜ。おっと、なんだか向こうの空が陰ってきたな。こいつは嵐が来るかもしれねえ。